Hey, this is JR McNair in the Entrepreneur Spotlight here on the Small Business Nation. We're super excited to be in the studio with you today to welcome a phenomenal entrepreneur, somebody that I've had the pleasure of knowing for a while. She's doing some great things because she's going to help you in the time that you need help, which is right now, right? Because we're talking about taxes coming up, all the stuff you need to have in place to really make these things happen. I want to have an opportunity to introduce you to none other than Miss Tonie Roland. Tonie, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. Super excited to have you on here. And, I have seen you grow over the years, and I'm just super happy to be able to introduce you to our community and just let them know who you are and how you can help them.
All right.
Most definitely. So first off, your company name is Elevate Tax Solutions, okay? And of course, you helping people with taxes and a myriad of things, which I'm gonna get into that. But before I get into that, I just want to kind of learn a little bit about you per se. So just tell me a little bit about you and how you got to where you're from, and what you're currently doing now, and how you got into it.
Okay. Um, my name, of course, is Tonie Roland, and I have been a governmental employee for 35 years. I worked for 30 years with the Michigan Child Support System, and I worked for 5 years with the Internal Revenue Service. I have also been an entrepreneur. I owned a children's clothing store. I even had a bar. That's a long story. But I have had businesses, and I have been an employer, and I have been an employee. And I have noticed that over the years, a lot of individuals need help with their finances. For over 35 years, all I did was look at others' income and determine their ability to pay. And as I'm looking at their ability to pay, I learned across the board. There were people that made fantastic money, and there were people that made a little money. And they all had similar issues with being fully aware of what their income was and what they should be doing with it. And so my company, Elevate Tax Solutions, we look at the whole financial matters. We look at how much you got coming in, if you need it, if you need those services, but we're here to coach you, to be beside you in making financial decisions, because you got a plan. And I saw a lot of lack of preparation across the board. Big money, no money. A lot of engineers, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of executives, and then cleaning, janitorial people. And no matter what the income, people were spending as much as they make and getting into tax problems. So out of my personal experiences and reviewing other people's personal experiences, I developed a desire to want to help people think about tomorrow, think about the future, think about their money so that they can grow it, so that they can multiply it, because it doesn't happen automatically. And before you know it, you'll be like I am, retirement age, and saying, oh, did I really prepare properly? Mm-hmm. And so my mission, Elevate Tax Solutions mission, is to help others be prepared when they get to where I am right now, and be comfortable and know that they put the steps in to make sure that their tomorrow is secure.
Totally. You know what? I think that's phenomenal. When I think about, and you're so right. I mean, we help so many entrepreneurs. I mean, we've helped over almost 53,000 entrepreneurs. And, the crazy thing is, very rarely do I meet entrepreneurs who have a solid financial base. I mean, and you're right. It doesn't matter. I had people make a couple $100,000. Like, I got people right now making almost $300,000 a year. And then they talking about they don't have any money left over, everyone. Mm-hmm. What? Mm-hmm. And then you see others that are making $50,000 a year, and they have some money left over, which is wild. And and I'm like, dang, so really, that people say the more income you make, the more expensive you have. That's so true.
Mhm.
People say, oh man, you know what? I can afford that car now. I can afford that house now. When you really can't. Some people living in houses that millionaires should be living in, and they're making a couple $100,000 a year, which is great. You could afford it, but can you really afford it? You know what I'm saying? And so and that's so key. So no, I see it all the time. It's something that is something that I see in all types of entrepreneurs, new ones, old ones, people that have tons of employees, to people that have a few employees, people that are bringing in millions of dollars a year, people that are bringing in less than $100,000 a year, which is crazy. And but on occasion, I will see people who will come off of their jobs and they'll have like great 401ks, which that's another thing. I'm not a big fan of 401ks, but I
Mhm.
am a big fan of people having money. Okay. And being able to have that. And I've seen lots of people that have came off of jobs, saved a good amount of money. But even too, they still don't know how to use the money. No, and a lot of times they're scared to really spend the money because they don't think that they can trust themselves to spend it correctly.
Oh, sure, sure. Um, you know, Working in the child support system and handling divorce cases, I seen a tremendous amount of women that I had to say, don't fight for the house. Because even if he made those payments, all of his child support payments on time, you would be pouring your every dollar into keeping this house up when you can go and get something that your income can support and let his income be towards investments and saving and extra. Live off of your income. And I realized that a lot of people just don't put the thought into financial planning that they should. They don't put the thought into where will I be 10 years from now? The world is turning, is changing. How people make money are changing. Pensions are yesterday. So you've got to put a little more effort into your money. Where's it going, and how to make it multiply. And so I offer referral services. I don't try to do it all for you, but if you need it, I consult with you and I offer you options of what other companies you have, all kinds of budgeting companies out there, that will help you get your money on a plan. I mean, I can help, but I'm not afraid to refer you to people who have even a greater knowledge or been doing it longer, or that I feel better serves your need. Um, but we have to think about what our tomorrow will look like if we don't sit and plan. Taxes eat up a lot of your money, and you need to be thinking how to minimize it. The number one problem I saw across the board is people filing late when they didn't have the money to pay.
Mhm.
And that's just adding insult to injury.
Correct.
Simple things like that, just filing on time.
Mhm.
Failure to pay is 25% in 5 months of the
Mhm.
tax owed. Why subject yourself to that when you can just go ahead and file on time, make your estimated tax payments? And that's for businesses. And then also, I had individuals who don't file for years. And the same thing, you don't file for years and you owe, you're just adding interest and penalties that's digging you further into the hole.
Totally. Totally. The one thing that I like about what you said several things. One of the things I really like though is that you're humble enough to know, hey, listen, you know what? I know what I can do, and then I know when I can pull in somebody else to help in those areas. And I don't see that a lot with a lot of entrepreneurs. They think they know it all. They think they are God's gift to their customers, and that they just know it all and you don't. I mean, I don't know it all. I've been in business for going on 23 years, and we've helped 53,000 companies. But every day I'm learning. If you look in, I just came back from a vacation trip with my family. But if you look in a car, all these books I had, didn't really get to jump in them like I wanted to. But as I was rolling down and riding back, all the audio books that I'm listening to and I'm absorbing to consistently stay on top of things, okay, and continue to be that lifelong learner. And you talked about partners and things like that, and I like that one of your partners is Lisa Leday, right? Who is one of our top CPAs on this end. You guys have a partnership together. Y'all do a lot of things together. And so in certain areas where she's like, hey, you know what? I need Tonie to handle this. In certain areas, you're like, hey, I need Lisa to handle this. Those are good relationships to have. I think that's phenomenal. And even what we are doing through the Small Business Nation, I see that you have recommended people to us, and to make sure that what we're doing with the Velocity Company and all the stuff that we're doing to make sure that if people need our assistance, that we have those assistants. How big are relationships in what you do?
Oh, relationships are everything. They're everything. To know that somebody else is vested in helping you. Somebody else can help you. Knowing that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out. The SB, I will say that I have been one of those individuals that I have spent so much money taking courses over the years, and mostly not following through, but taking courses. And I can honestly say that when I stumbled upon the SB and the knowledge that is given in one place on marketing, on sales, just motivation, taxes, so many things you cover in the SB. I would be remiss not to share it with others. I would be remiss to let them know that there is help, there is assistance, there is guidance, and the amount of energy that you pour into people that come into your agency, you don't find that every day. And I'm inspired by those who help others, and I love being in the company of, because as I was going along in my years, I was looking for someone to help, and I didn't find too many people willing to help and to share and to gather all of this information to be able to be a source on multiple areas. And that's what the SB does. And I am definitely a recipient of all of that reading that you do, and inspiring to, and letting us know that we have to continue to learn. At no point do you get where you do not need to be continually learning. And I wish someone had made that clear to me years ago. And I want to make it clear to people: you need to continually be looking at where the world is going now, and how do I stay current with where it's going, and what's it going to take.
Totally. No. I totally agree with you there. And one thing I'd say about you that was something that really made me want to continue to invest and spend time in there, was that you kept pushing regardless of what happened, regardless of, hey, you know what? I tried this or I tried that, and I'm still, hey, I've had this going on in my life or that going on in my life. A lot of people end up giving up when those things happen, but you was like, let's keep going. And that's the thing that sets apart, okay, regular entrepreneurs and successful entrepreneurs, is that determination, that grit, that perseverance. Okay, why is that something you think that you have been able to implement?
Well, well, I have faith in a living God that says if you knock, the door will be open. If you seek, you will find. Okay, all of that, and all of my life, because I worked for the government and I worked in jobs where, for 8 years we didn't get a raise. We didn't get a raise. So I knew that if I were going to get more income, it was going to come from somewhere other than that job. Okay. So that meant I had to get out and get busy. And as I said, I saw other people's income in their records, and I saw people were doing businesses that I never would have thought. And I was like, this is a business. You can make this kind of money. So it inspired me to say, oh, just keep knocking, keep looking, because you will come upon that thing that is your thing. And really recognizing when to let some things go and to move on. Don't give up, just move on. This is not for me. People can make money doing this, but it's not how I should be making money. And those are the kinds of things that I want to share with clients. My services are primarily virtual, so anywhere in the country I can assist you. But I like to act as a coach and encourage people. The encouragement that I didn't get, all these years. I found it now, but all of these years when I was looking and seeking, everybody charged for every little thing. And as I said, I
Mhm.
come to the SB, and so much information is given in one place on a variety of topics. And I'm saying, yes, this is the type of people that I like to partner with and be associated with, that help. You can make money and help people. You
Mhm.
can.
You
You
can.
can.
You totally can. No, and that's and that's great. And I love that. When you're talking about your virtual services and how you can make those things happen for entrepreneurs all across the country. Tell us, like, talk about those things. I know you talk about all the different services you have to offer, and what you can offer to our community and to all entrepreneurs across the nation.
Okay. Well, I do bookkeeping, and bookkeeping is like the prep work to the taxes. Okay. Lisa Lede is a CPA, so she is an accountant. I recognize where my expertise in, and I need to pass it on to someone that has a little more, full knowledge. But helping people day one, when you start a business, set it up right. Set the taxes and the filings in order so that they won't be a problem. Personal experience. I've worked for the Internal Revenue Service collecting taxes, collecting tax returns. And I started a business not financially prepared, drained me,
Hmm.
and caused me to file some returns late.
Hmm.
And I paid interest and penalties. And
Mm.
I swore that I would not be in that situation again. If nothing else, I'm going to pay it on time. And I don't want anyone else to go through that. So, my service is, let's get your estimated tax payments if you're a business. Let's get them set up, and let's calculate for them. Let's look at where you are. If you have a business, okay, then you need to know, am I making money?
Hmm.
I kept a business open for a year
Hmm.
and I was not making money.
Hmm.
And if I had have been looking at my financial statements, if I had have been preparing profit and loss statements, I would know that for the last 3 months we have been losing. And I know these things. And so my services is to help whoever, whatever business or concern that you have, you to concentrate on your business so that I can concentrate on making sure that your requirements, what the business requires, is in order so that you can make money, so that you can concentrate on making money. You don't have to worry about. So my service is to make sure that you have your estimated tax payments set up and on time, to make sure that your file, you're set up correct, what entity you should have, and then not just individuals, I mean, not just businesses, but also individuals. I offer, let's talk about how you're going to support yourself in the future. Long gone are the days where you can work for one employer for 30 years.
Oh yeah.
Long gone is the time where you could have one source of income and supply all of your needs. So you need to be thinking about. So my services, where I offer, let's consult, let's sit down and look at what it is that you'd like to do, what it is you can do, what are some of your business thoughts, how can you make that a reality, what will it take financially, what will it, take in terms of organization, what you need to put together, who do you need helping, who do you need to contact and work with. So the services that we offer at Elevate Tax, they're more than just tax services. They are above tax services. They are above bookkeeping because we look at the whole picture. And these are if you need those services. If you just need your taxes done, and you just got a few questions. I've done TurboTax. I used to do everyone in my family taxes with TurboTax. I
Mm-hmm.
worked for H&R Block for 2 years. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of questions when you're doing taxes that you don't get a chance to ask those preparers or TurboTax. Uh, about 3 years ago, I had took out money out of my retirement plan under the COVID plan. And it was a certain form that you needed that you had to for you had 5 years to pay it back. 3 years, excuse me, you had 3 years to pay it back. And it was a form that you needed every year to put on your tax return to say, oh, this is 1/3 of what I took out of my accounting. I had paid for H&R Block. And I got all the way to the end and realized that they didn't offer the form that I needed. So
Mm.
I had to go out and buy another tax preparation at the last minute to file my taxes. And I'm
Wow.
only saying this to say that those TurboTax and H&R Block, you don't get to really talk and discuss. They don't really come beside you and say, okay, you know, if you open up a
A particular account that they like, hey, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it is. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like, and I like what you were saying there when you were talking about the differences. The thing that I like about you, Tonie, is that you're very relatable. I think that a lot of the entrepreneurs, they need to be able to see themselves in the person that's helping them. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I really like about you. I like the fact that you worked for the IRS for 5 years. Okay. I like the fact that you've done and figured out these things for your own family. I like that you work for these other big providers like the H&R Block on this end. So you've seen all of these different aspects, the good, the bad, the ugly, and you can properly prepare them for the future. And that's one thing that I really like. I like, once again, that, somebody, they could come to you because you weren't perfect, and that you had some times that you filed these taxes late, that you didn't have some pieces in place. Hey, and you went through it. And that's very important. The story about what it is that you're doing and how you got to the place of where you are. That's something right now. I kind of consider it the origin story. When I look at that from a lot of people, you don't really, people sometimes they, oh, I did this like this and I was perfect. I was perfect. I was perfect. But the fact that you say, hey, look, this is where I messed up, and you can, and I'm going to prevent you from doing the same things that I did. Okay.
exactly.
And that's one of the things that I really love about what you're doing, and why I made it my business to make sure that you got on here and that we can introduce you to our community and to the entrepreneurs all across the nation. Because a lot of times, and I'm gonna be honest, like, even though I am someone that's, I believe I'm very relatable and things on this. And I think sometimes certain people, they like, man, this guy has been in business for almost 23 years. I see him speaking here and there and here and there. And sometimes it's like, you know what? Hey, they have a persona that they want to have in front of somebody like me. Okay. And so when they're able to talk to somebody and say, hey, look, man, I jacked this up, I jacked this up, I jacked that up, then, you can say, hey, look, I got you. I'm going to help make this happen. You know what I'm saying? For you.
Exactly. Exactly. There is no pretense. There's no need. There's no need to pretend we're better than we are, that we're doing. Hey, mistakes they happen. There's no shame here. All it is assistance and help, recognition that, hey, there are things that we need to do better, things we need to pay attention to. We need to do planning and preparation. Okay, things won't get better, they won't change, we won't get to that $1 million status if we don't do some planning and some preparation. If we don't make sure that what's coming in is being allocated correctly and properly. Like I said, little things like making your estimated tax payment, and that goes to all kinds of freelancers and 1099 workers. They have to make estimated tax payments. They have to be on their own, concerned about their taxes, and starting IRAs and different things that will help you get deduction, buying rental properties, all of those things, ways that you can make additional money, bring in passive income. You have to think about stocks, what level of investments that you can do, and what are their tax implications. So the services that we offer are comfortability. Okay, comfortability here. Just come as you are. Let's work it out. Let's get you from where you are to where you want to be, and what's it going to take. No shame. You just don't keep making the same mistakes. Don't not move forward because you don't feel like you have all of this high knowledge. There are so many things that you can do, ways that you can make money as simple everyday people, and you need someone that, no matter how small your income is, as you grow, will work with you as you grow. That'll say, hey, everybody starts somewhere. The point is to start. Let's get you started on multiple streams of income. Okay. And that's just from working one job for 35 years and getting here and saying, gee, this is all I have in my retirement account, or this is the only thing that I got going. So we have to, think about, no matter what your income is, no matter how low it is, as you alluded to, you said earlier, there's people that's making $30,000 that have savings.
Correct.
And they pay all their bills. And then there's people with 300,000 who don't know what's coming out of their check, don't know what they're paying. My job is to help you, no matter what your income level is, no matter what your level of expertise is, how big or small. Let's get in and make sure that it's set up right, and that you're maximizing the income, that you're mindful that you should be making what it takes to make income, and that you're not paying any more in taxes than you need to be.
And what you're saying, Tonie, is that, and what I see is that a lot of the other people and a lot of other organizations out there seem to be really transactional. Hey, we got this done, this is done. But you're like, hey, let's look, like, how can we really help you build? And how can we really help to develop a relationship with you to make sure that you're not just, because once your taxes are done, okay, what's going to happen next? Okay. What's happening before, what's happening after, that relationship that you're developing with them. And that's one of the things I like to be able to know, that I can reach out to somebody and that somebody can say, hey, you know what, let's talk, what we got to do, because if I have a relationship with somebody, like I said, some of that additional help may have a fee associated. Sometimes it won't. But, it's just the fact of having a relationship that you can go to somebody if you need the help.
Can always ask questions. I have my taxpayers that I did last year. I can't tell you how many phone calls that I got during the year. I had an individual, she was talking about opening up a lemonade business. And we talked about what will it take for that. And we had a conversation, and she just called me um, about 2 weeks ago and told me where she was in the process, and we discussed what more she needs to do, and she's moving full steam ahead on starting another stream of income in the lemonade business for supplying lemonade to various functions and things. So I talk you absolutely. My clients, we're in a relationship. Okay,
Correct.
you can
Correct.
call me, and if, like I said earlier, if I don't know the answer, we're gonna find the answer. We're gonna
We
get you
gonna
to
find that
somebody else.
answer, right?
We're going to
Yeah.
get you to somebody else that can assist you and help you um, do what you need to do. So, yes, it's more than just tax preparation. You can ask a question, you can reach out at any time, and you will always know in advance whether or not at the point that, okay, there's a fee attached. Everything that I offer and do is there's not a fee attached. Some things are just good business. You want to help people, some advice you can give. And then, there's things that require a payment, but a lot of the conversations that I have is based on encouraging individuals to think and to plan in preparation. That's what my biggest service that I offer is the less plan and less prepare, because a lot of people don't. They're just living today and they're not thinking about 20 years from now when um, I don't have the energy that I have today. What will be my source of income?
Mm-hmm.
What will I be doing? And so that's my focus, to do more than just tax preparation, but let's plan. Let's
Yeah.
plan what the implications would be if you start certain things, if you engage in certain activities, if you buy rental properties, what's the best kind to buy for you at your level, and you know understanding what it takes to um, understand what it takes to finance to start a business,
Yep. Yeah.
how much you need, because keeping your personal and your business record separate is important. And a lot of people can start off as a sole proprietor till they get to the point that they're making money. Then we want to go into LLCs and other forms of corporations that have more legalities to them. But that's kind of some of the decisions and guidance that Elevate Tax Solutions offer. Let's
No,
look at where you are.
no, and I love that, Tony, because one of the things that I know is that when I was starting, I had to figure out a lot of this stuff on my own. And I got through it, but when I look back, I'm like, time that was wasted trying to figure it out. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs feel like, well, I can just do this on my own. No, you can't.
No,
Like, find some help. And why do it on your own, right? I
right.
had other people that I was that started around the same time, and they didn't know as much as I knew, but they were smarter in a lot of areas because they went and got that specific help that they needed. Okay, where I knew more than they knew, but it was like they were like, hey, well, I don't know this. I'm gonna go get somebody that does know, in addition to of what I'm doing. So that's the whole thing. I think that's great to understand your gaps and understand when to fill those in with the right people. So no, listen, I am so happy that you came on to be able to share this with our audience base, and I definitely hope that they have an opportunity to go to elevatetaxsolutions.com to have an opportunity to connect with you, get a consultation. The thing that I like about you on that end, they can do a free consultation with you,
Absolutely.
sit down with you and figure out, okay, what they need to do so that they can make these things happen. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, don't wait. I see so many people that wait to the last minute for stuff. And that's one thing you were talking about, planning. And that's one thing I know, at least in the Black community, that I've seen, because we help entrepreneurs in all areas, all sectors. Of course, helping 53,000, we've helped almost any kind of entrepreneur, any demographic. But one thing I've specifically seen in the Black community is that it's always like very urgent when it's urgent, and outside of that time it's not urgent, and then typically
Yes.
wait. Things sometimes tend to come to the last minute, or we're late. Even not the joke, but when I go to a lot of my kids' functions and things like that, and we trying to get it in, but I see a lot of the people who roll in late, typically look like us, so and I think that's really something really comes from generations and generations that I have seen that if we can get in the Black community, individuals in that particular community to say, hey, I am not going to wait to the last minute. I'm going to do a little forward thinking. And not only that, but when I do get my tax return, when I do get my money, what am I going to do with it? How am I not going to be in the same situation again? Trying to buy a car, a TV, whatever the case is. I don't know what people buy with their taxes, but all I know is that as I have seen over the, thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people in the Black community that we have assisted, I have seen that area, that demographic tends to wait to the last minute for certain things. Not everybody, okay? But there are a larger portion that I've seen that has been the case. And what you were talking about, planning and planning forward, I believe that you can really help that demographic specifically and others, right? Because, I don't care if it's in the white community, I don't care if it's in various communities, everybody typically has things that they got to get right. But what I've seen historically in a greater number has been in the Black community, that things have typically waited to the last minute, and things have typically been late, and so some of our income has been taken just from a place of unnecessary fees, unnecessary penalties, like you were mentioning. And I think those things need to be something that are addressed and looked at. And then if you fall into that demographic, if you're part of our community and you fall into that demographic, I would just say, hey, do yourself a favor and get with somebody like Tonie, okay, ahead of time, so that she can help to make sure that you are planning and getting those things in place, okay? So I just want to say that, just because, I'm people, Tonie, they say, JR, you're very honest, and that's the way I am. I believe in, like I said, telling the truth, shaming the devil, as you say back in the day, like, let's get to the truth of the issue so that we can correct it, right? If you're sitting up here, oh, no, it's no different. Nah, that's not true. No, that's not true. I've seen even when I look at certain things that happen with males versus what happened with females, when they start companies, when they're on jobs, it's different. And so you have to know each one of these demographics. This is why people have demographics and understand psychographics and all those things, so you can fully understand who your customers are. And so I've done a good job of understanding who my customers are. And in that particular niche, in that particular community, this is what I've seen. So, these are just some things that I just wanted to just kind of bring up on that end.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I did 10 plus years in divorce investigation, which means you see people's income from doctors, from accountants, from lawyers, judges, business owners, and not knowing where your money is going happens on all socioeconomic levels, okay? Mm-hmm. But you are absolutely right. And part of it is because minorities don't get the same financial education in their homes, mm-hmm. because their parents didn't have it.
That's so true.
That a lot of other people get. And I'm thankful and grateful that the information is getting out about that. And part of my goal is let's start talking finances that no one else would talk to. There's a lot of people that do finances, but if you don't have $250,000 or $500,000 to start, or $100,000, they don't have time for you. And that's where I come in. Um, it's about where you are and where you want to go. I'm not looking at how much money you make. I'm looking at, let's make your money, let's maximize your money. Let's plan it. Let's plan. Let's prepare. Let's be aware of what we have. So many people don't have are not aware of where their money is going, and where is it coming from, and other things they could be doing to save themselves. There's all kinds of deductions, and we know that business, even if you got a W-2 job, you still need to have some kind of side hustle that is considered either uh, a sole proprietorship or LLC or something, or rental property. You need to be
Even
doing
for the write-offs,
something,
even for the losses that you can take,
even
even
for
if
the
you
write-offs.
haven't even made any money yet. I mean, just those expenses. I tell this to people all the time. I'm like, look, man, just start something up. You may be in the planning and development phase of it. Start it up. You'll be able to get some tax write-offs, some tax benefits, some tax savings just by you trying to figure this thing out. And that's why I
Absolutely.
always tell people, launch and perfect it later. You will not know, even after almost 25 years in business, there's still a lot of stuff that I'm still figuring out. Okay. So
Absolutely. But there's so much information and help out there. It's no need to feel ashamed about what you don't know and what you didn't do. Hey, you can learn. You
you
can do
can.
now. And that's just Elevate Tax Solutions job, okay, is to leave you better than where we found you. And if you just want to do your taxes, we can just do your taxes. But if you want to strategize, the ultimate goal is not to get a tax refund anyway. The ultimate goal is to just break even, or owe a little bit within your 10% limit of whatever. That's good financial planning. Is not to get a refund, because that means the government has been holding money that you could have invested or you could have done other things with. But we meet you where you are, and wherever you want to go, we're here to help you go there, uh, by
Totally.
planning and preparation.
Totally.
No condemnation. It's
Yeah.
just like, come on, girlfriend, let's move to the next level. You can do it.
Totally. And I think that's so big what you're saying. I think a lot of people, they like, okay, what you're saying is the government get to hold your money for 10, 12 months. Okay. And then they're going to give you back what you paid in without interest, without anything like that. And then you say, oh, I got money back. But yeah, but was that money money that you could have used and kept in the first place to end up investing and making X, Y, or Z happen? But I think all of these things are important, and if you are somebody that paid in, yeah, you want to get that refund back, but it just depends. And like I said, not everybody has the same story. Not everybody has the same path to financial freedom. Not everybody has the same path to understanding this journey that we call life. So I think it's important to make sure you get with somebody that can look at the individual things that you have and help you work from that. And that's why I'm so glad that Tonie, you're doing what you're doing, and you're helping the people. And I just want to just advise y'all, man, go to Elevate Tax Solutions, see her, check her out, and just give her a call. I mean, if she can help you, she'll let you know. If she can't, she'll let you know. If she needs to refer you to somebody, she'll let you know. And these are all things that I believe are very big. So I'm really excited for you, Tonie. I want to ask you just one last thing. What would be one last piece of advice that you would give to anybody out there, if about their finances or whatever? Just one last piece of advice that you give.
Be mindful of what's coming in and what's going out. And if you're maximizing what's going in and what's coming out, because as we said earlier, I've seen people with small resources, but they know where every dime went. They live comfortably. They're able to do what they do because they're mindful of where their money is coming and where it is going. Know that you need multiple streams of income in 2025. Okay. One stream alone is not going to do it. So my conversation to everyone is, let's talk about money. We don't like to talk about money. We don't have to be specific in general, but let's talk about it. Okay. Let's get comfortable looking at and thinking about what else can I do? And you'll be amazed at what else you can do in this economy at this time to make money.
Totally. No, you're totally right, and I think that's so big, and that's why I always tell people, I don't, like I said, I always tell people, I don't believe everybody should be an entrepreneur, but everybody can make money.
Oh, yes.
Everybody, and that's a difference because I believe that you're right. Unless you have some place where you just making millions and millions of dollars, you need multiple areas to where you can pull that money in. Maybe not all at the same time, but you want to make sure that you have and you're thinking about it and you talk about it and what you plan for it, right? Because if you don't plan for it, then a lot
Not
of
gonna
it is not
happen.
going to happen. I see that that's the biggest thing. Less than 3% of people end up planning, okay, for anything. Less than 3% of people even write down their goals or their plans, right? And that's why you see that the majority of the wealth in our country and in the world is owned by about 3% of the people. And I don't think that's a coincidence that those same 3% end up being the ones that end up planning, writing stuff down. It's not a coincidence. So,
No.
just thinking through that, we're at the top of the year. Think through these things so that when we get out of 2025, we're not talking about, oh man, 2026 gonna be the year. I'm just waiting for 2026. So
Mhm.
I don't want that. I want for people to be successful in 2025, right? And so, what do we have to do to be successful now? Not waiting for this perfect time, perfect season. Bible says in Ecclesiastes 11, the farmer that waits for the perfect time to plant will never harvest. It's never going to be a perfect time. It's never be a perfect time for anything. And I just tell you guys, if there was ever a time for you to be successful, the time is now. A
Absolutely.
lot of you guys, your time was years ago that you should have been doing something, but you waited. But I'm gonna tell you, the next best time is always now. Okay, so I want you to take that time. Talk to Tonie. Tonie, I want to say thank you so much for coming in here and
Thank
being a
you.
great guest with us here. And we're gonna continue to just push this thing, push our entrepreneurs, and push what we're doing in the small business nation. So I am really, really excited for you, and I'm just happy that you're here with us. So listen, guys, I'm JR McNair here for the Small Business Nation, the Entrepreneur Spotlight, and with my great guest here, Tonie Roland. Y'all listen, y'all have a phenomenal time. Let's get this new year started right. Okay, and give Tonie a call, okay, and let's get the plan and let's get the correcting some of
Absolutely.
the things that we may have had years and years and decades of disaster in. We're gonna make a new page, a new face in what we're doing going into 2025. So, all right, man, I'm really excited. Thanks once again, Tonie, and we appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Most definitely. I'm JR McNair. Once again, the Entrepreneur Spotlight on the SB Nation. We appreciate you. Until the next time, keep making it happen.